Thanks for joining us. Let's inspect the forces. Recap cameras or go.
Okay, g'day viewers. Welcome to round 3 of Old Hammer 1. Just to recap, this is round 3. So if you look at round 1 and 2, you'll get more detail on my army list, but I'll put it up here so you can have a look at it. I'll be kicking myself all the way through this battle again because I only have a level 2 Hierophant, which is pretty easy to kill with 2 wounds. So I've got to try and hide my Hierophant and do some damage with the rest of my army. But I think it's pretty good. I do have a Tomb King, Kefotep the Undying, in a big block of 6 chariots, the Ogre Blade and Talisman of Protection, so he should be okay. But my Hierophant has got to hide behind the hill, otherwise she's in the archers. Nowhere else to hide, and I've got a Necro Sphinx and a War Sphinx, which I had recently painted. So that they're all hiding there. There's some horse archers hiding behind the woods, and we're facing against Dark Elves, and there's my ambushes. So my plan is always to ambush with the 2 Scorpions and the Swarm. So they're hiding behind my bear there. And there's my War Sphinx, newly painted War Sphinx, hiding behind the building. Have a quick look at the Dark Elves, and he's got a Dark Elf Master, 2 level 2 Sorceresses, and a Supreme Sorceress. So he's got plenty of magic, and I think his main plan is to throw out a lot of vortexes at me. Repeater Crossbowmen, 2 units of Dark Riders, big block of Black Guard, that's pretty good. Banner of Harganeth, I don't know what that does, and 2 Bolt Throwers. So lots of magic and a bit of shooting for the Dark Elves. So we'll see how we go. There's the nice crossbows up on the hill, repeater crossbows. They throw a lot of dice for not much damage usually, depends on what you're facing, but a lot of dice and so on. There's I think that's the Dark Master, maybe that's the level 4 in the big block of Black Guard. That's an awesome looking unit. Look at that nice Black Guard unit. We should try and make infantry great again. So we can use all these nice units. There's the Dark Riders with a level 2 in there. I don't know which one's which, but there's some Dark Riders with a level 2. And then on the other side of the building here, there's another unit of Dark Riders with the level 2 and the 2 repeater bolt throwers up there. Are they called repeater bolt throwers in the Dark Elves? Anyway, they're the Dark Elf bolt shooters. And that's the situation. So there's the overview of the table. It's a nice mat and nice terrain, nice comfy chair and a nice cold beer. So what's my plan? My plan is to try and keep my Hierophant alive and bring my ambushes on and get rid of his bolt throwers first, and then we'll see what happens after that.
Let's go. Turn 1.
Okay, well, turn 1, and Dark Elves are going to win the roll-off here, so they'll be going first, which is not good because they've got a fair bit of shooting. So you can see here, I've lost a couple of chariots already. Lucky the Hierophant and the Necro Sphinx are hiding, but he turned his bolt throwers and all the Dark Riders, I think, shot at them. So he's concentrated on the chariots, which is not good for me, right? So these guys have all moved up and I think killed a couple of chariots, which is pretty devastating because I've only got a level 2, so I'm not going to be able to heal too many chariots. And with the level 2, I think he's only leadership 7, so I'm not going to raise many up. Then in my turn, I got the icon of Rakaf on the chariot, so they've sort of reformed. My will be done with the extra movement and so on. So we've just had to go for it and put pressure on here. We can't muck around. We've just got to get stuck in. And that's the problem with ambushes. I've got 2 Scorpions and the Swarms off the table. So I'm about, I don't know, a couple of 100 points off the table. 250 points roughly, something like that. And they're not going to do anything when they come on either. So they're not doing anything turn 1. Turn 2, they might not even come on. So I'm sort of learning that ambushes aren't all that I thought they were. Probably not a good idea to ambush, but I stuck to my guns and just ambushed in this game. So we've put the pressure on there. The Black Guard have moved up. My War Sphinx is hiding. And my Hierophant is hiding behind the hill there. She does have the Cloak of June, so she can get out of trouble, but she's only got those archers in the hill for protection, and my horse archers haven't done anything as either, so we're in a bit of trouble as we go into turn 2.
Turn 2.
Alright, so I've tried to put the pressure on here. I can't sit still because all that tuning and magic is going to tear my chariots apart, and I don't know what I'm going to do. And he's going to throw out a bunch of vortexes, and there's my War Sphinx. He's hiding behind the building from the repeater crossbows up on the hill, which is probably silly. You could probably just go after them, but I'm thinking about him leaping out here and attacking the Black Guard. But War Sphinxes don't leap very fast, so I'd be out there in the open for a while before I got anywhere near the Black Guard, and they'd probably kill him anyway. So I'm thinking about what I'm going to do with the War Sphinx. He's level 4s in there and a couple of level 2s, so he's about to cast a lot of magic missiles and vortexes at me, not to mention the bolt shooters. So over there, and he's going to... There's the Dark Riders. I'm worried these Dark Riders are just going to run around behind my archers and just kill my Hierophant. So I'm going to try and get my Hierophant out of trouble. That's the problem. There's my Hierophant hiding behind the hill. Very vulnerable. Toughness 4, 2 wounds, I think. So easy to kill, and then my army starts crumbling. So that won't be very good. And then I'm just going to try and get into those... bolt shooters. So he's just moved back, and he's just going to throw a bunch of vortexes out in front of the chariots and the Necro Sphinx, as you can see. So there's a whole bunch of vortexes, 1, 2, 3 vortexes there. I'm not sure which one's which or what they all do. So hopefully for him they'll scatter and go through my units, which I think they do. They're doing a bit of damage, and I'm not going to get to grips with any of them. And then there's the crossbows on the hill. So things aren't looking good for Kiefer and the Tomb Kings at the moment. Alright, Tomb King's turn. I did charge one of the Dark Rider units, and my Scorpion came on and my Tomb Swarms came on. So they're going to go after the Bolt Thrower. So if it's the last thing I do, I'm going to get rid of the Bolt Throwers. You can see I've only got 2 chariots left. So my chariots have been copying it. So Kiefer will be on his own pretty much soon. And the Necro Sphinx charged some Dark Riders, and they ran off the table. I think that's what happened there. So you see he's missing a unit of Dark Riders. So maybe I got a bit lucky there and they fled the charge, or maybe they failed their terror and they're off the table. So we're into turn 3.
Turn 3.
As we move into turn 3, so luckily enough, I've removed 1 level 2 sorceress and a unit of Dark Riders, and these ones here are going to go after my archers on the hill and the Hierophant, and my ambushes have come on, so turn 3 they'll be able to charge in my turn later on. So the top of turn 3, the Dark Elves are going to move up. I think the Black Guard are going to use travel mystical pathways to get a big 12-inch move. So there they go. Yeah, so they're just going to move up into the woods through a mystical pathway. That's my new favourite spell from Elementalism, which I've been using with my Orc and Goblin army. So it's a pretty good spell if you want to get your infantry around the table. You can see his Dark Riders are now getting stuck into my archers. I lost a couple of archers, and my Hierophant is hiding behind the hill. I need some help there because the Black Guard are coming, and the Dark Riders, and the level 4, and there's vortexes swirling around all over the place. So things are grim for the Tomb Kings, and I'm going to go into, in my turn, I'm going to get stuck into those Bolt Throwers. So at least we got some points. We've got some Dark Riders, and we're going to get the Bolt Throwers. And Kiefer has a single chariot in his unit, so he's killed 5 chariots now with his shooting and vortexes and spells. And there's the Black Guard, and my War Sphinx is still hiding behind the building out there. So many vortexes, many spells coming in, and my Hierophant is very vulnerable behind the archers there. So we'll see what happens. It might be time for the War Sphinx to come out and do something. And there's the vortex moving. I think we stuffed up the vortex. It's my fault with rules problems there. They move at the start of every turn. Maybe I got that wrong somewhere, or maybe we misinterpreted something. Anyway, we worked it out in the end, and the scorpion and the swarms are going into the bolt throwers, and my archers on the hill are shooting at these dark riders. Looks like I've killed one or two of them, and there's lots of dangerous vortexes. And there's my war sphinx still hiding, and finally he breaks cover and he's going to go after those crossbows on the hill. And then I do get another scorpion comes on, so my Hierophant's hiding behind the scorpion and raises up the archers back up again. So this corner, we're under attack from the Blackguard, and the other corner, all my hard-hitting stuff is taken out the bolt throwers.
Turn 4.
Okay, so the War Sphinx has broken cover, and they've got warbows on there as well. 4 Tomb Guard with warbows. They might have killed one of the crossbows on the hill, but he's going to go after them. I think they're going to stand and shoot, or maybe they fail their terror. Anyway, spoiler alert, the War Sphinx never gets anywhere near them. And I think I might have missed a turn here, because on the other flank, the Blackguard have travelled Mystical Pathway again, and then they've moved up, so I probably missed a turn. So this might be turn 4 and 5 combined here. So the Blackguard are threatening, and my Hierophant has bugged out of there and flown away with the Cloak of Dunes. She's out there vulnerable on her own out on the flank, but the Blackguard are going to get stuck into my archers, and then my Scorpion is right behind them. So the Blackguard might clean up both of them, but the Hierophant has escaped and flown away. Now if we look at the other side behind here, let's have a look. Vortex is moving around. You can see Kiefertep has only got one chariot left, and they've shot, and my archers on the hill, they stayed there like that because I wanted to shoot those Dark Riders. So it looks like I've got rid of the Dark Riders and the Sorceress that was with them. The hits probably got distributed, and she's only got one wound left. So I might be able to get rid of that Sorceress, pick up some points there. But the Blackguard are going to clean up the archers. And I think my Hierophant's going to fly over there, somewhere on that board edge, to try and keep away from them all and get to safety. So, and then here I think he's doing a big stand and shoot against the War Sphinx. Got a handful of dice there. And I'm not sure if they stood there and shot, or they fled, or they failed their terror test. Something like that. Anyway, the War Sphinx survives, and the crossbows rally and shoot him again or something. So that's pretty much 4 and 5 as we go into the final turn.
Final round. Turn 6.
Okay, so turn 6, and the vortexes moving around. The War Sphinx, the Necrosphinx has come out. He's wounded. Kiefertep's only got one chariot. Yeah, so the War Sphinx did go in over there, and those guys rallied and then shot him again. So the War Sphinx survives, and those crossbows survive. And there you can see my Hierophant way out on the flank there. Yeah, she flew over there to try and survive. And he's gone into my archers to clean up them, so he won't be casting any spells at me. That's one good thing. And then the Blackguard are going to overrun into my Scorpion. So they're going to kill my archers and then overrun into the Scorpion there. They're going to clip the Scorpion. So not much you can do with undead archers. I've only had 10 there. They did a little bit of shooting, a bit of damage to the Dark Riders. So the Blackguard are going to clean them up easily. We just take them off, and then they're into the Scorpion. So that's the end of the archers. And the Hierophant has escaped. So they're just working out whether he wants to do an overrun. So he's going to overrun and clip the Scorpion. Oh, I think, so the Scorpion actually, this is surprising. I thought the Blackguard would just murder the Scorpion. But it looks like I killed a couple of Blackguard, took one wound on the Scorpion, and I think I might have lost the combat by 1, so the Scorpion holds. So that was pretty lucky, saved some points there. And Kiefertep's chariots have been decimated. The Hierophant survives. We killed that last level 2 sorceress. The Necrosphinx has come out of hiding. He's got a couple of wounds on him. Scorpion and Swarms survive. So after the early turns, I was just trying to preserve points and only lost some chariots, the horse archers, and my archers. And I'm just going to try and find the sheet where I wrote down the points, because a couple of weeks ago, and a couple of beers and a big lunch during the day, so I can't remember what happened in the final round. So I'll see if I can find my score sheet, but I think it was probably a draw. Okay, well, apologies, I could not find my army list where I usually write down the points difference and so on. So we'll call it a draw after the early exchanges, and I lost most of my chariots and so on. I was on the back foot and all those vortexes flying around. But we did get some points getting the Dark Riders and the Bolt Shooters and so on. So we'll call it a draw, and lessons were learnt about vortexes and so on. And my army list, well, Tomb Kings at 1500 points is a bit difficult because you want to have your Hierophant fairly tough and strong, and you need your magic and your raising, but I sort of thought I had a good combat army with the big block of chariots and the king, so they did okay. And the Necrosphinx is always a good thing. The War Sphinx is too slow to keep up with the rest of the army. And in every game, it was 3 games, and I always ambushed with 2 Scorpions and the Tomb Swarms. So what's that, 150, 250 odd points that I'm down on turn 1. Then if I'm lucky, they might come on turn 2, and then if I'm lucky, they'll charge on turn 3. And so, such a big chunk out of your army at 1500 points, it's not worth taking ambushes. That was my plan. But anyway, so they did come on and take out some bolt throwers and stuff. So they did their job. Is that enough? Well, it depends what army you're facing. So ambush, it's a good rule, but it's pretty unreliable. I was pretty lucky in most games. They came on turn 2 or 3, but it could have been worse. And the poor old War Sphinx, too slow for that army. Need more speed. But I would definitely make sure I had a level 4 just for magic defense at the lower points. And I would like to have, just more magic defense. The king as well. So maybe Orcs and Goblins might be okay at 1500 points because you can have a level 4 and a war boss or something with the Goblins. And Elves and High Elves, Dark Elves, Wood Elves, they're pretty much similar because they have lots of shooting and magic and some combat with either a dragon or something else like Wild Riders, etc. So, interesting. 1500 points. Not my favourite level. I'd rather 2000, but good. The games are a bit quicker at 1500. And you have to make some choices, I guess. Anyway, another 1500 point tournament in a few weeks. So, I'm not sure what I'm going to play. No idea. But I'll definitely have a level 4 for some magic defense. Nothing worse than having no defense against magic, unless you're super fast and can get in there and lock down their casters. Maybe that's an option. Anyway, thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time. Bye for now.
Thanks for watching another Creaky Gamers production. We hope it wasn't too bad.